Hello everyone, this is Flavia and I hope all is well. Today we will be creating with the Spellbinders Wise Owl die set, and I must warn you that this is one of the most adorable sets ever. The Wise Owl die set was released as the March 2024 Small Die of the Month. However, it is now available for purchase at the Spellbinders website without the need of a club subscription. If you're interested, I have in the description box down below a supply list with all products used in this video so you can check it out later. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the die set. It is included in this set 15 metal plates to cut out pieces to make an adorable owl and some accessories such as a scarf and a pair of glasses, as well as an envelope with a seal and books. I love all of the accessories included because it allows us to create many different looks, which is what I did since I couldn't pick just one that I liked the best. To be more efficient, as usual, I did cut all of the needed pieces off screen, and now I will begin assembling my owls by using the Barely Art glue, which is a very strong glue that dries clear, and my two must-have tools, which are a pair of self-lock tweezers and a wax pencil to help me hold these tiny pieces. It was very easy to figure out how to put these pieces together, especially because the metal plate that we used to cut out this large piece leaves impression on the cardstock to indicate where we need to adhere some of these die cuts, such as the eyes, cheeks, beak, and wings. Since most of the metal plates included in this set are very small, I used my leftover pieces of cardstock to cut out most of these pieces, which was great. I chose two different shades of brown cardstock, however, you can actually make these owls any color you like. I've seen many different colors of owls on social media that other card makers have created with this die set, and they all look so cute. I went with brown cardstock because I wanted it to match the craft colored envelopes that I purchased recently and wanted to use today. I cut out the eye shapes out of black and white cardstock so I can do the die cutting inlay technique by popping these tiny white pieces back in the negative spaces of the large black eye shapes. I cut out the glasses out of gold and silver metallic cardstock so it has some shine, which I love. And just like the scarf, the pair of glasses is definitely optional, however, I do think it makes the owl look extra cute. So here are all of the cuties that I assembled for today's note cards. Let's now have some fun assembling the die-cut books so we can create stacks of books for each owl to stand on. And now that we have all of the die-cut pieces ready to go, let's create the card base. I will begin by drawing a horizontal pencil line 1 inch from the top of the note card so I can do the partial die-cutting technique and create a fun-shaped note card. After drawing a line with a pencil, I will tape the large owl-shaped plate in place, really close to the top edge of the note card, making sure it is centered. I am taping this plate so it doesn't shift as I run it through my die cutting machine later. So this is what it should look like, and our goal is to only cut above this pencil line. There are a couple of different ways you can do this, and one option is to leave everything below that pencil line hanging as I am doing here, and only sandwich the section above that pencil line, which is what we need to cut out. I completely forgot to open my note card before running it through my die cutting machine, but know that you can definitely unfold it just to make the process easier, since we only need to partially cut out the owl at the front of the note card. And this is what it will look like after you run it through your die cutting machine. Next, we need to cut along this horizontal line between the partially cut owl. I find this step to be easier if we use a wire trimmer like this one that allows us to lift the blade so we can move it to skip a section and continue cutting the paper. However, if you do not have a paper trimmer similar to this one, you can simply use a craft knife and a ruler. I used to do that a lot, but since this trimmer is so inexpensive and compact, I decided to just go ahead and get it because I love doing the partial die cutting technique. By the way, this is the Fiskars 9 inches shortcut paper trimmer, and it really is such a compact tool that these holes that you see on the left side are meant to give us the option to add this paper trimmer to a 3-ring binder if we want to, which is such a nice feature. Moving on, I will now round the corners of this note card, but you can definitely skip this step if you want to. I was able to use this tool to round the corners at the bottom only because I couldn't make the corners on the top of the note card fit inside this corner rounder since it kept on hitting the partially cut owl. So I will improvise here and use a pair of scissors and a sanding block to round these corners at the top. Before adding the die cuts to the note card, card, I will use this large hot foil plate and hot foil the front of the note card with a piece of foil in the color opal, which will be very subtle and add just enough shine without taking too much from the focal point of the note card, which will be the die cut owl. This is the Sketched Lines hot foil set, and it also comes with a hot foil plate with 4 great sentiments and the coordinating metal plate to cut it out. I chose to use the best ever craft tape to tape the plate to the note card because I know that I will be able to easily remove it later when I'm done without damaging the cardstock. The opal foil by Spellbinders is my favorite color of foil, and I literally have to force myself to use other colors because my first instinct is always to reach for this one. It adds a beautiful and very subtle holographic shine to the cardstock, and I think it is perfect for those occasions when we need to add something to the background panel without taking too much away from the focal point of the note card that might be something else. The tricky thing about using this foil is that it is almost impossible to tell the difference between the right and the wrong side of the foil, so be very mindful of that when cutting out a piece and setting it aside. I have transferred the foil to many plates, including this one, instead of the cardstock so many times when using the opal foil because I just can never tell the difference between the front and the back side. Once this second light on my glimmer machine stops flashing, I will remove this entire platform and run it through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine to apply pressure, and notice the stunning result as I peel off the foil. And here is a closer look at some of the sentiment strips that I created using that other hot foil plate included in the Sketched Lines set. To make these note cards feel heavier so it stands nicely on display, also to create a bright spot to write a personal message later, I will add white panels inside each note card that are about 4 by 4 inches. Once that is done, we can go ahead and begin adding the die cut elements to the front, making sure to line up the die cut owl with the partially die cut one at the front. And since I cannot find any sets with sentiments in Portuguese, which is my first language, I did create my own by printing it with a laser printer and then hot foiling the printed sentiment page with deco foil and a laminator. That is how I created the sentiment strips in Portuguese that you will see in some of these note cards. Here is a closer look at the completed note cards, and I hope you enjoyed this video and felt inspired. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you spending this time with me and helping this channel grow. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask in the comments section down below, and make sure to visit my blog for pictures and a visual supply list for all products used in this video. Have a wonderful day, take care, and I hope to see you again soon.